So I'm recording this because I wanted to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 and the pre-order nightmare going on. So I just want to explain my little experience. I had a pretty decent experience, thankfully, but that's because I avoided online. I seen all the online stuff that was happening a couple nights ago, and I decided, all right, let's talk about this a little bit. This situation, it's absolutely insane. First of all, I recommend you follow Jake Randall and Wario64 if you're looking for pre-order stuff on Switch 2 still. I don't know if they're going to have more dates of pre-orders before the console's release. I don't know. Hopefully they do. Hopefully Nintendo addresses something. As scalpers they're scalping. Nintendo said there would be enough. There's not enough. Absolutely not. It's crazy. Now, my local GameStop, they had 65 consoles. They had 45 bundles and 20 just the console itself. I was fortunate enough to be able to leave work at about 10:30 in the morning, 10:25 give or take. It was about a 35-minute drive to get to GameStop from my work, and I was able to get there by 11. There was about 32-ish people in front of me, and then more and more people came. There was about 10 people behind me or so. So everybody was able to get a bundle at my GameStop, which is awesome. And they still had some left over for people throughout the day, I guess. Probably at least 20 more, I'd say, or so, non-bundles or whatever people wanted. So that being said, I was fortunate enough to leave work, and it was a pretty cool experience. A few of my friends were there. I didn't vlog anything on the whole Switch 2 GameStop experience of me going to pre-order it. I thought about it, but I was like, nah, I'll vlog the midnight launch for sure. But I wanted to pre-order from my local GameStop because I've never experienced a midnight release of a console in person. I've never experienced that before. The Switch 1 I didn't get at launch because I was hesitant because the whole Wii U. So I waited a little bit until Mario Odyssey, and then I got one. That way I had Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and a couple other little games to play or whatever. It turns out the Switch is my favorite Nintendo console of all time. But, that being said, I got my pre-order in. I was like number 32. And I got everything and anything that I wanted, which is very cool. There's even a couple of things I still don't have that I forgot to pre-order or was thinking about it and was like, eh. Like, I didn't pre-order the Pro Controller like I thought maybe I would, and I guess I forgot. I don't know. I had like a whole list of some stuff on the pre-orders and completely forgot about some stuff. So that, I just kind of forgot a couple things that I wanted. But overall, my experience was pretty good. And my local GameStop had enough for everyone that came, which is nice. Not every GameStop did. I seen Beat 'em Ups. His GameStop he went to only had like 35 maybe consoles and bundles total, which is pretty rough. I can't believe there's some GameStops that only got like 30-ish consoles. I think every GameStop should have 60 to 100. 60 to 100, hands down. Because there are people that have not gotten one yet, which is sad. It's sad. I hope that websites do more pre-order dates and times or whatever, or shadow drops even. But the point is, not everyone's getting a Switch 2 at launch. And that sucks. My friends are. They got lucky by going to their GameStops. Some got lucky online, but a lot did not. A lot of people had their orders canceled online, couldn't get through the carts online. It's atrocious. It is an absolute mess, an absolute nightmare. And we should have seen it coming. The same thing happened with the PlayStation 5. The same thing happened with the Xbox Series X. Heck, when I got my Xbox, the website for Meijer, which you got to go in-store only to pick it up, there was people around the country that didn't know what Meijer even was that was using the website. It's insane. It's absolutely crazy. So for one, I just want to say thank you to my boss, Jeff. He is incredible for letting me actually be able to manage getting a pre-order on a Switch 2, because if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have got a Switch 2 day one. I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have got a Switch 2 day one if I wasn't allowed to leave work to go get a pre-order on this console. Because I wanted to get it day one. I wanted to go experience that midnight release of a brand new game console, because I've never had that experience before. I've never gone to a midnight launch of a new game console before in my entire life. Only games. I've done game midnight launches multiple times, and Usually those are pretty cool, but this was something that, like, when I was there, I had a few friends that were there. I talked with some people in line and stuff, and it was overall really cool experience, being in line waiting and talking with people about the Switch 2 and about Nintendo stuff and about the pre-orders and all the items and the games and all that, talking to them about Mario Kart. Not to mention, I think my GameStop might do a Mario Kart tournament possibly as well for the midnight launch to celebrate. I don't know yet. That was just something I was told is possibly going to be happening during the midnight launch, which is really, really cool. But overall, I can't believe Nintendo just... And I don't know how many consoles these websites had, but these websites still to this day don't have bot protection. Oh, we got a line that puts you in queue, but your spot in line does not stay or work properly. I know this because I went through it with the PS5, and I said, I'm not doing that again. I didn't get a PS5 day one because I thought my work that I was working at the time would have them. No, they didn't have them when they first came out. That's for sure. They didn't have them at all. And then when we got 2 boxes, they couldn't even sell them. It was bullcrap. That being said, so Switch 2, I was like, I got to go to GameStop the day of in the morning and get a pre-order in on this thing. And I'm glad I did, but I just... Nintendo, I wish, could do better. And I don't know if this has anything... I don't think it has to do with the tariffs and all that, because there are millions of consoles in the U.S. already in factories just waiting to be shipped out for June 5th. But every GameStop store should have had at least like 100, around 100, like 80 to 100 average. And some had like 30 to 40, and that's just not enough. Not enough at all, especially if you're in like a big town. Because then the line has to cut off and everybody else doesn't get one, and that's crap. But my experience with it was really good. I had friends waiting in line. I seen the people in front of me. I didn't have one of the sheets. So GameStop gave you sheets and gave you like a checklist, or like you could circle what you wanted. And I didn't get one at first until I was in there for a while waiting inside of the store. And I think that's really cool, that GameStop had a list of like stuff that you wanted, and you could go through and circle it or whatever, look at what you wanted on the list and get whatever you wanted. So that's pretty cool. I think what they did was really, really well done. But I know some people have had to travel like an hour easily to a GameStop to hope that they got a Switch 2 pre-order. Like, I know Josie drove like 45 minutes or something to a GameStop to get a pre-order, which is insane. But then again, from my work, I drove 35 minutes. From home, it'd only be like 25, but from work, it's even further. So it was a little bit of a trip. Didn't mean to be gone that long from work, but hey, sometimes... Listen, if it was my old job, I would have never got away with that. I never would have been able to get away with that. I would have had to call in from work. I would have had to call in. But, since I have a really nice, cool boss that knows I'm passionate about this kind of stuff, and he plays video games too, and who knows, he didn't tell me if he's ever been to a midnight launch of a console or not. He might have. I don't know. But, I mean, it's going to be a cool experience, I imagine, with all the people in line who are just excited to play something Nintendo that are not scalpers, And I think it's crappy what's happening. We all figured this would happen, and it sucks. It sucks that some people are having a hard time getting a console, but it is what it is. There's not really much you can do. I'm excited, though. I got my pre-order, and it was a cool experience, and I got the different things that I wanted to get. I forgot to get a Pro Controller, is what it is. I might still pre-order Cyberpunk maybe for it, just because I think playing that would be pretty cool on the Switch too, and I never played the DLC, so I might. Because as of right now, I only got Mario Kart, and I feel like I kind of want another game at launch to play along with it. So I did pre-order Donkey Kong, but that don't come out until July, so... But anyways, guys, that's just my little experience talking about what happened, what's going on. I don't know if there's going to be any more pre-order drops. I hope so. Again, go follow Jake Randall and Wario64, and like especially Jake. He's like on top of things with everything when it comes to pre-orders, when it comes to shadow drops, when it comes to different drops for the Switch 2. He is one of the people. He helped me get a PlayStation 5. after the PS5 came out. So, but this is before launch, so I don't know if there's gonna be any more drops until after the launch of the console. But that being said, every single person I know got at least one pre-order console of the people that I know personally. So I hope everyone did. If you did not, like I said, follow them. Hopefully there'll be more drops. I don't know. I don't know if Nintendo's even gonna talk about this. They probably don't. They don't care. Let's be honest here. Like Nintendo doesn't care. They have a bunch of they're selling the consoles either way. They don't care about people who are resellers. They don't care about that at all. They get money either way, so they don't care. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you got a pre-order. If you did not, what was your experience? I want to know everyone's experience with how they got a Switch 2 pre-order. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.